Hello, Seahawks. Today we're going to be talking about evaluating expressions. This is an extensions notes. Basically, it's adding and subtracting integers with a little bit of an absolute value, but you're going to be using expressions to evaluate that. Okay, and here are your notes that you're going to be taking a look at. Okay, you only have 6 examples, so this should be nice and easy. But if you look at the directions, it says to evaluate the expressions when A equals -3, B equals -2, and C equals -8. The word evaluate, let's just talk about that for a minute, is just a fancy word for solve, just like simplify, okay? They just, try to use these words. You just need to know what they are. Evaluate means to solve, okay? So the first thing that you're going to do on number 1 is you're going to plug in the values first. Okay, so the value of A is -3. And then I'm going to bring down that plus sign. And the value of B is -2. So I have -3 plus -2. Now from here, you're going to follow your rules of adding and subtracting integers. Okay, so let's look. We have a -3 and a -2. So you have same signs, add. -3 plus -2. 3 plus 2 is 5. And the bigger number is your 3, and your 3 is negative, so my answer is a -5. Number 2, plug in your value for B, which is -2. Bring down that subtraction sign, and then you have a -8 for C. Okay? And on this one, we have that double negative there. So when you have that double negative, you want to do keep, change, change, right? Keep, change, change. So we're going to keep our -2, change our subtraction to addition, and change our -8 to a +8. Okay, now from there, we can follow our adding and subtracting of integer rules. We have a -2 and a +8. That would be different signs subtract. 8 minus 2 is 6. And 8 is the bigger number. 8's positive, so my answer is a +6. Okay, if you'd like to give the next one a try, you can. There are 3 numbers that you're adding or subtracting in there, but it's easy enough for you to give that one a try. Number 4 you might want to hold off on and go over with me. All right? So if you'd like to pause it, give it a try, or just go along with me, you may. Number 3, okay, you have A plus B plus C. So I'm going to plug in my values. A equals -3 plus, hold on, I just want to give myself a little more room. -3 plus B equals -2 plus, and C equals -8. Okay, and I put these in parentheses sometimes just to separate them with the plus sign, but if you don't, it's okay. You just want to make sure you can read your handwriting. So on this one, I don't have any double negatives, so I can just leave it the way it is. I have a -3, a -2, and a -8. So since they're all negative, they're all the same signs, I can add them straight across. Okay, so 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 8 is 13. And the larger number is 8, and 8 is negative, so my answer is a -13. Just draw a line here to separate here. Okay, on number 4, we have, if you remember back from the first chapter that we learned this year, the absolute value symbols, okay? So you're going to do first, bring down that absolute value symbol, plug in A equals -3 plus B equals 2 plus c equals negative 8. So it's basically this, the same exact problem, except for you have the absolute value symbol there. I'm going to just make that a little bit darker so we don't forget about that. Okay? And so remember when we did absolute value back in the beginning, I said to you absolute value is like a grouping symbol. So you do what's inside the absolute value first, and then you find the absolute value when you've done all that you can inside. So we have the negative 3, the negative 2, and the negative 8. They're all the same signs, so same signs. Add 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 8 is 13, okay? And that would be a negative 13, but we need to find the absolute value of negative 13, and if you remember, absolute value is how far away a number is from 0. Well, how far is negative 13 from 0 on the number line? It is 13 away from 0. So my answer is actually positive 13. If you have any questions, you could write them at the bottom of the page or in the right-hand side. Okay, number 5 is a little bit tricky because we have that negative symbol in front of the A. So basically what that's going to look like is negative and then negative 3 plus negative 2 minus negative 8. Okay, so basically what you're doing is you have that double negative there. It's keep, change, but there is no number to keep. So basically all you're doing is changing your negative and a negative 3. So minus a negative is really plus 3. Okay, and then you have a plus negative 2. And then look here, we have a double negative again, so we have to keep, change again. So we kept our negative 2, we changed our subtraction to addition, change our negative 8 to a positive 8. Okay, and I don't need this plus sign here. It's a positive 3. Okay, so now from here, you can look at your numbers and you could determine, okay, I have a positive 3 and a positive 8. I'm going to add those together first. Collect your positives. So 8 plus 3 is 11. And then we're going to add a negative 2 to that, which would give me a 9. And that would be a positive 9 because 11's bigger, the bigger number, and 11's positive. Should have marked that positive and a negative. Okay, that one's a tricky one. Same thing on number 6. We have a negative A there. Now, if A was a positive, you would just bring down that negative, and it would be a negative 3. But because A is a negative, let me just draw a little line here to separate this. Oh. Okay. We're going to bring down that negative, and then we're going to plug in A, which is a negative 3. And then minus negative 2 minus negative 8. Oop. Okay, so we have lots of double negatives here. So every time you see the double negative, we got to keep, change. Okay, here we have the double negative. We're just going to change. This is being a little... Okay, so our minus a negative 3 becomes the positive 3. Minus a negative 2, we got to change our subtraction to addition. Change our negative 2 to a positive 2. Change our subtraction to addition. Change our negative 8 to a positive 8. And this just made this a real easy problem. 3 plus 2 plus 8. You have 5 plus 8. You could just add that straight across. And that would be 5 plus 8 is 13. Is your answer. Okay, if you have any questions, write them at the bottom of the page, and I will see you in class tomorrow. Have a great day.